Hello there, it is me. I am here to do something extremely important, and that is a Mario Party tier list, because I felt like it and it seemed like the right thing to do. Mario Party Superstars just came out. I'm a huge fan of the Mario Party series. It's a lot of fun, extremely chaotic, and just pure nonsense, and that's why I like it. And I have a lot of opinions on the whole series in general, so I felt like, you know what? Now is pretty much the best time to do a Mario Party tier list, now that the new one is out and I have played it. So yeah, let's just get right into it. I'm going to try not to spend like too long on each series, so I'm not going to analyze like each individual board and minigame. But I am going to rate them based off every aspect of the game, you know. The mini games, the boards, the item systems, the mechanics, that kind of stuff. And of course I do have Woody Woods from Superstars playing because it's an absolute banger. Great music. And one final note, I did not play the mobile Mario Party games. I don't think I missed much. I have heard DS is pretty good though, I'll give that. But the mobile Mario Party is it's just not my thing to play Mario Party Mobile. So, anyways, let's begin with Mario Party 1, the original, the one that started it all. It's a D tier. I'm sorry, I can respect it for starting this series, but it was very clearly figuring things out still. The board quality is just all over the place, and in general, I think there's no boards in one that are particularly great. There's some that are okay, but a lot of the boards just have too much RNG, are either too big or just not interesting enough. They're not all bad. It does have the most boards, but when all those boards aren't that great, I don't think that means a whole lot. And I think the main thing that holds Mario Party 1 back is just, it doesn't have an item system. It doesn't have a good item system. I think if you're going to play an N64 Mario Party, the Mario Party 2 just does Mario Party 1 better in every way, because it carries over a lot of the minigames from 1 as well. So, yeah, Mario Party 1, I can respect it, but I just have no desire to go back to it at this point. I just think it's outdone by pretty much everything past it. Like Mario Party 2. Mario Party 2 is great. It's amazing. It just destroys 1 in every way. The boards are vastly better. It's almost comical how much better they are. Horror Land is obviously amazing. Bowser Land is great. There are some others people like. A lot of people like Western Land. I think it's a bit too big though. Yeah, it's just pretty much all the boards are at least pretty good, except maybe Mystery Land. The item system, while you can only carry 1 item at a time, it makes it so you have to very carefully choose what to buy and when to use items, which I think is interesting. It's a very different dynamic with the item system in 2 than, compared to like item systems past this, because you can just carry multiple. I think you have to be very, very careful with your items in 2, which I think adds a different kind of element to strategy. It has tons of Banner minigames, again, Banner boards. It's all around just really solid, and surprised that after all this time, it's still probably one of the best. It might deserve to go in S tier, honestly. I'm not sure. It's either S or A. So I'll be honestly, like, I wish I've played more 2 recently so I can more properly judge it, but 2 is really good. It's fantastic stuff all around. There's really not much that's wrong with 2, so I think I just slightly prefer maybe a couple others over it, maybe. Sorry, I don't know. We'll consider. We'll leave it there for now. Mario Party 3. Mario Party 3 arguably it's definitely one of the best item systems in the game. Tons of very interesting items, tons of really creative boards. The minigames from 3 are just crazy, and it has a ton of minigames in general for its time. I think the one thing that holds back 3 for me is some of the boards I just have too much. I have RNG junctions, like Deep Blooper Sea and Waluigi's Island. I just don't like RNG junctions. And then I have other stuff like Spiny Desert and Chilly Waters are pretty cool. But I think some of the boards just have unnecessary RNG elements in them that I just wish weren't there and were a bit more streamlined. That stuff just, obviously it's Mario Party, you're gonna have RNG, but I prefer RNG to stay, not super prevalent on all the boards. That's just my personal, preference for boards. You can have some, but like RNG junctions though, I just ruin it for me. And then Creepy Caverns. I think like 2's boards are slightly better overall in quality. 3 has some. You have Waluigi's Island, Chilly Waters, Spiny Desert, but I think only like Woody Woods is pretty good. So it's those really good boards, and it's elevated by just the absolute banger minigames and the very good item system. It's either S or A. Honestly, I should probably put both of these in S, because I think I don't know, we'll think about it. S I'm like leaving for the ones I really, really like, so I'll put 3 in S for now. It's really great. I mean, pretty much everyone who's played 3 thinks it's really good, and I can see why. 4, okay. I've seen a lot of people say they like 4. The people who say they like Mario Party 4 play Mario Party for the minigames. They don't play for the boards. Because if you like the board element of Mario Party, and that's one of your favorite parts of it, you do not like 4. Mario Party 4's boards are trash. It has like the worst, some of the worst boards, if not the worst. Obviously, we're excluding, you know, car time. Also, I just realized Island Tours there. Get out of here. 4's boards are garbage. I'm sorry. The only board that's halfway sort of decent is the Boo board. And even then, that has its issues. I'm not going to go and, like, dissect every individual board in 4. I don't need to explain why, you know, why Toad's Midway Madness is awful, or why Koopa's Seaside Swore or whatever is absolute trash. But, yes, 4 has very good minigames. But the thing about good minigames in Mario Party is most of the Mario Party games have good minigames. 5 has really good minigames. 6 does. 7. If you actually like go and just go to Wikipedia and just compare the different minigame lists, they all have great minigames as well as a few stinkers. Every single one. I'm sorry, it's true. Just I do think 4. Yes, you have Book Squirm and stuff. You have some great minigames in there, but then there's some other standout minigames from other series. I don't think the minigames elevates like 4 above its awful item system, or not item system boards, but its item system is extremely flawed as well. The Mini and Mega Mushroom mechanic in general is just not well thought out. It could have been done like a lot better, and it just wasn't implemented that well. I gotta put Mario Party 4 in D tier. It's just, those elements bring it down so much, and at the end of the day, that's the glue that holds Mario Party together, is the boards and the item system, and those are both not that great in 4. The item system, okay, the item system, I'll be fair, it's more the Mini Mega Mushroom system that's bad, but the actual item shops are you know, they're alright. It's more the Mini Mega Mushrooms that are bad. I was getting too broad there. But the boards would just ruin it for me, so. It's probably a little better than 1, because it at least has an item, it has an item system. 1 just doesn't, but again, I can't stress enough. I think 4's boards would just bring it down too much for me. 5. I remember I used to, like, put 5 on a pedestal as a kid. I know some people who think 5 is the best, and a certain individual who thinks 5 is the best. I've seen many people who think 5 is just absolutely great. And I've seen other people, like myself, where I used to like 5 a ton as a kid. I thought it was amazing. I remember that Mech side mode I played a whole ton. And I just thought it was really chaotic and crazy and fun, and I think that's why some people like it. Mario Party 5 is, you play it and things happen. You don't know what's going to happen. There's just random orb spaces on every board, and you don't know what's going to do until you land on it. It's just chaos all around. And it's too chaotic and random for me. There's so little form in strategy, and I think you know what I'm talking about. The random item shops are just bad. I hate having no agency over the items I get. There are so many times when you just won't have, you know, movement options to make, and you're just stuck with these worthless yellow orbs you keep getting. On top of that, the board quality in 5, while not as bad as 4, is pretty mediocre. There's very, very few memorable and well-designed boards from 4. It has 2 island boards, Future Dream and Rainbow Dream, which are both really bad in my opinion. That just have unnecessary elements to it that I don't need to go into. I genuinely think the only board from 5 that's good is Pirate Dream. I think that's the only board worth playing on 5. I think all the others are just not that great. They're, you know, or rather the others are like Undersea, Sweet Dream, you know, those are okay, but I'm talking about like boards that are really good, you know, like Horrorland stuff material. I think Pirate Jam is the only good board. But it's some really good it has great minigames, of course. But again, so does 4. As Pushy Penguins, you gotta give it, you know, props for that. The random item, it's mostly the random item shops, and in my opinion, not many boards that are super memorable or well designed in here. So I'll put in C tier. It's still good. Like when I put in C tier, I mean that's kind of like the middle line. Like I'll play Mario Party 5 and enjoy it. You know, Mario Party 4 and 1, I'll actively like not to be too interested in playing. I'll still play Mario Party 5. There are just a lot of elements about it that I just think are done better in other installments. Mario Party 6. Alright, Mario Party 6 is my favorite Mario Party in the series. I could probably do like a mini, a mini like essay as to why I think 6 is so good. The gist is, I think it has the best boards in the series, just full stop. It has the best boards. I think, and also has the, you know, most amount of good boards in the series. I feel like most Mario parties, you'll have like 2 or 3, maybe 4 good boards, and then the others are bad. 6, I genuinely think every board in that game is good. Snowflake Lake is the only one that I'm iffy on. But even then, that's 1 out of 6. I think the other 5 are all good or amazing. And in particular, I think EGAD's Garage is the best designed board in the series. Yes, it is just a normal star spawning, but there is so much strategy and planning on that board and a lot of other boards. But on that board in particular, I can make like a mini video on that board alone. It is so well designed, and I love it. And I love how many things you can plan and strategize around and utilize. On top of that, and part of that is the day and night mechanic. Making the spinning thing go around the board, and the day mechanic in general is just an amazing mechanic. It affects every board differently. It always is, you know, something you can keep track of and plan around as to how it'll affect the game and the board. All the other boards, you just utilize it really well. The boards in general are great. Castaway Bay is probably the best linear board. Fair Square's interesting mechanic. Clockwork Castle is a really neat gimmick that's actually good. And then it has 2 normal star maps. Which the treetop map is okay. It's pretty good. I just think EGAD's Garage I think EGAD's Garage is the best, you know, just normal star spawning map in the series, in my opinion. It's just so good. On top of that, mini games, of course, they're great. There's a solid selection of mini games, as is to be expected, and it has the orb system, which is just vastly better than Mario Party 5's orb item system. It's not balanced. I'll admit the orb system is not balanced. If you're playing exclusively, you know, you're playing to win, you know, still having fun, but you are playing to win, you're pretty much always going to buy a movement orb if it's available. You're going to buy a Sluggish Shroom or a Golden Mushroom orb if it's available or something. Yellow orbs, while they're very fun, and that's why I like the orb system, yellow orbs and red orbs and the whole trap system in the game is really fun, and you're always going to get them and utilize them because of random orbs. But if you're going to an actual shop, you're probably going to buy a movement orb if it's available. I also like that, you know, system, because on a lot of boards you'll have options to go get a random orb and maybe a shorter path, or you'll go a path to take a shop, and you won't get the free orb, or you have to spend money on it, but maybe we'll going to get a movement orb. And it's just really fun to use all those different orbs and make traps and make, you know, paths of multiple yellow orbs at once. This game introduced the Sluggish Room, and it's really, really good, but also just so much fun. And the general game mechanics are just great again with the day and night mechanic. I'm just kind of repeating myself here. I just think 6 is just the closest to a perfect Mario Party we've gotten. I know a lot of people, you know, will put like N64 games first. I don't think 6 is perfect, but it's so good. I just think it's really good. I think it's really hard to beat 6 in a lot of categories. And yeah, I think I've pretty much explained my piece again without going. I can probably make a super in-depth video on like each of these, but 6 in particular, it's great. It's good. I'm just trying to make sure there's nothing I've forgotten, but you could probably tell that I'm a bit biased towards really liking 6. And here's the thing. When I was a kid and when I was like younger and like growing up and stuff, and I wasn't a jaded old man, I think I actually played 7 more. And I think part of that was like, I don't know what part of that maybe play 7 more, because I think I had 6 and 5 back then as well. I think 7, but now that I've played 7 more, and I can analyze it and it's designed better and it's designed more, I think 7's like, it's hard, because there's some, I'm looking at it like putting it above 5, but there's some parts about it that I think I'll put it above, I don't know, they're close, honestly. So here's my thing with 7. It is pretty much the same orb item system. It does have character orbs, though, which are very unbalanced. But they don't always appear, and that's super common. But for the most part, its item system is relatively the same. I think orbs are in general cheaper in 7, if I'm not mistaken, or at least I feel like sales happen more often. I don't know. That might be completely wrong. But again, okay, so my main problems with 7, I think 6 just has the better mechanic. The day and night mechanic is far better than Bowser Time. Bowser Time, while kind of fun, is only a good mechanic on one of the boards, being the Bowser board, because it's actually consistent and you can plan around it. I think... So yeah, I think the 6 has a better... I don't think Bowser Time is a very good mechanic. I shouldn't compare it directly to 6. I just think Bowser Time is not a very good mechanic, I'll say for the third time. The duel system is awful. I hate how the duel system is a random reward system. That is not good. I really dislike that. And the mic minigame space, while you can just have it off. If you do have it on, is extremely broken. It kind of destroys the coin economy single-handedly. But again, you can have that off. But that also means 7 has a pretty below average amount of minigames, because there's only going to be like 8 4-player minigames or something if you don't have mic minigames on, which is very small. I do think its 4-player minigame selection in general is very good. It's just smaller than normal if you don't have mic minigames. And I think its boards are okay. It has okay, and I'm really thinking about it. I think the Bowser board in 7 is the only board that's exceptional. I think there's some other boards that are neat, but like Neon Heights, while pretty neat, is just you have to do those little mini game things on the board all the time. The RNG chests aren't that great. A lot of people like Pagoda Peak, but I'm just not personally. I don't personally really like linear boards with no junctions at all. Blooper board is okay, but it has like that 30 space. It has literally like 30 spaces or something where you have no junctions at all, and you could just get stuck there if you find yourself on that path. I don't like the Chain Chomp map. So when I really think about it, I don't really care too much for the boards. I just think a lot of them have design flaws. If I were to really dissect them, again, I don't want to get super into it. And yeah, it's just all those little things, the dual system, the board quality, in my opinion, not being my personal liking as much. And Bowser Time as a mechanic is not being too great. If I were compared to 5, I like that it has the item shop. I think just having the decent item system, the good item system, elevates it above 5 slightly. Because I think in terms of board quality and minigame quality, 7 and 5 are relatively similar. 5 maybe have slightly better minigames, so they're pretty similar. Honestly, I could put either of these in C or B. In fact, I think I'll put both of these in B, now that I look about it. I'll put 7 and 5 in B. They have mechanics that bring it down. I'll still play and enjoy them, definitely, but it has problems with just a lot of the boards and system mechanics in general. Alright, how far am I into this? Oh my god, I'm 17 minutes in. I've spent way too long talking. I thought this was going to be like 10 minutes. Alright, 8. A lot of people really like 8. I'll be honest, I don't get it. I don't get why people like 8. I think 8's okay. Motion controls. That's all I have to say, really. The minigames, I think I said before how, like, in terms of if you compare minigame lists directly on like Wikipedia, from like, you'll find that every Mario Party game has good minigames. If you compare 5 to 7 to 6, they all have good minigame lists. 8, not so much. There's a reason Superstars only has like 2 minigames or something from 8, because so many of them are just forcing motion controls in, and the entire game itself is just forcing motion controls in, with like hitting the dice block and everything, and it's kind of, I'm sorry, I think it's annoying. I think the whole forcing motion controls in everything is annoying. And the minigame quality is actually below average, like compared to like pretty much every Mario Party on this list so far. 8 has the worst minigames, and I don't see many people dispute that. I'm surprised why so many people seem to like it. The candy item system is okay. It's kind of just like it's kind of just a worse. I think it's just a worse orb system, because I think the orb system is more fun than the candy system. The item system in 8 is okay, but I just think, 6 and 7 do it better. And the board quality, I need to take a sip of water. I think the board quality in 8 is okay. Kind of. I mean, the Koopa map is the one everyone brings up. Like, the Koopa Hotel map is really good. Just don't play that map with a short amount of turns, or else the lucky space will just give someone the win. But then other maps, like the Shy Guy map, yeah, it has great aesthetic. But when I play boards, I play them more for the design of the board, and how they're laid out, and how they're designed, the mechanics of that board, than how they look. The Shy Guy train map is just a linear board in disguise. there's not much planning you can do on it. Yeah, you can use some like slow orbs or movement orbs in certain situations, but at the end of the day, it's still a linear board. DK's map is like extremely forgettable. Goomba map is another linear board. This game has 2 linear boards in it, which I'm not a fan of. And King Boo's map, while I love the aesthetic of it and the idea behind it, I think that the King Boo RNG, like a roguelike map almost that randomizes every time. I think if you design that board in a way where you didn't just have to pray and hope you found the star, if you design it in a way where you can, like, I don't know, see the star space appear in the dark and then try to work your way with the random map to go there, and that was like slightly bigger or something, I think there's an idea with that board that could potentially make it like one of the best boards ever, one of the most interesting boards ever. But in general, a lot of the boards are just, you know, linear, they're forgettable, they're not super interesting, they have design flaws, and the mini game and motion controls just kind of bring it down for me. So it's still neat, it's still a decent Mario Party, but I just think it's kind of a hassle in some ways. So sorry. But, you know, it has blooper, so that's a plus. Mario Party 9. Look, I'm not going to go in depth on either of these. I know there's some Mario Party 9 and 10 stands out there that like these games. Again, I play Mario Party for the mini games and the boards. I think, you know, you need good boards and item systems and mechanics to hold the whole formula together. Mario Party 9 and 10 doesn't have those. Sure, there are good mini games that come from 9 and 10. I'm not saying that there aren't good mini games from there. But you know, nobody plays those games for the boards, and I do play the Mario Party games for the boards as well, so no one likes the cars bad. Car mechanic bad, basically. Super Mario Party. Look, from what I've heard from what I've been saying so far, you can probably guess what I'm going to put, where I'm going to put this. It's going in D tier. Same reasons I've put a lot of these, you know, the boards are bad. The whole movement and item system is not that great. I don't need to go about explain why the item system is bad. I hope, you know, Golden Pipes, you know, there's a lot of the boards just have really significant design problems. There's not that many of them. The amount of content in this game is just less, which isn't something I've had to bring up till now, because for the most part, content's been pretty similar in terms of its amount. Super Mario Party has less content. It has a small boards and a small amount of boards. They're all not that interesting. Its minigames are fine, but not that great, and it has some motion control ones. It's not that great. I think I'll put it, I don't know, like, yeah, I do think I enjoy 8 a little bit more. I'm trying to look at like 4 compared to 8. I think 8 does have some redeeming qualities because its boards are slightly better. But then 4 is a lot better minigames than 8. So now I'm like second guessing myself. Maybe 4 and 8 should go in C tier because they have like those different elements. I don't know. For now, I'm pretty comfortable in Super and D tier though. I've played Super enough. I don't think I like it that much compared to the old ones. And finally, oh my god, in 23 minutes, what am I doing with my life? Okay, Super Stars, the new Mario Party, ladies and gentlemen, the brand new Mario Party game made by ND Cube Nintendo. It's just an ND Cube, but you get the point. I think, from what I have played so far, which is about a week, about a week of playing Mario Party Superstars, pretty heavily, not gonna lie. I think Mario Party Superstars is an S tier. I was honestly fairly pessimistic with Mario Party Superstars. A lot of elements about it. Oh my god, was that there the whole time? Was that little thing there the whole time? That little pokey thing at the bottom? Where's that even coming from? Well, I guess you got to see a little bit of pokey at the end. I don't know if I'm going to re-record just to fix that. Anyways, I don't even know if you saw what I'm talking about there. But anyways, Mario Party Superstars, I would say, is one of the best Mario Parties I would say it's one of the best Mario Parties ever made. Genuinely. Obviously, it has a couple significant flaws. I'll go over the flaws first. Only 5 boards, and in my opinion, only 3 of those boards are good or great. I think Horrorland is the only board from Superstars that is really good. I think Woody Woods is pretty good. I think Spaceland is decent. I think Peach's Birthday Cake is not that I think it's a bad board still. It was bad in 1. I still think it's bad. I think Yoshi's Tropical Island is arguably worse in Superstars than it is in 1. I think the item system in Superstars just kind of destroys the whole concept and mechanic of that board in the first place. You could basically just ignore the thwomps and not use them, honestly, because you have golden pipes and custom dice blocks and stuff that kind of make, just destroy the mechanic of that board. But Lucky Spaces, I do think there are a bit too many of them on some boards. In particular, Horrorland could use a little less. I don't think they're not as much of a problem as I thought they would be. That's, of course, the main controversial topic that a lot of people had, myself included. I thought Lucky Spaces were going to be a huge problem. I still think they're a small problem, but they're not nearly as huge of a problem as I thought that would be, considering you have ×2 minigames and coin minigames. Coin minigames are busted in Superstars. You can get 50 coins from some of these coin minigames. It's really crazy. You'll pretty much always get a lot from coin minigames. I almost wish there was an option to nerf them or just make them appear less or just delete them. But yeah, because of those and ×2 minigames, Lucky Spaces honestly aren't too huge of a problem. They almost sort of take this place of random orb spots, if only there's more of them. And again, I just wish there's slightly less of them. But aside from, there being below average boards, which might be updated in the future, and some other minor quips, I think the item system in Superstars is really good. It's, of course, very similar to 3. It's different per board and changes, and I don't know, the item system's just really well thought out. Again, similar to 3. 3 has a really good item system. Superstars is really good. Boards are pretty good, as I said. I think Horrorland is definitely the best. It's easily the most complex of the 3 boards, but I also do like Woody Woods and Spaceland enough. Obviously, they're just remakes of boards, but that's the whole point of the game. I don't need to bring that up. And the biggest part of Superstars that makes it so good, Mario Party Superstars has the best minigame selection in the entire series. It just does. I don't think that's a huge surprise for a lot of people. I mean, from the footage you saw, its whole thing is bringing back a bunch of minigames from the entire series, but it seriously has nearly every absolute banger minigame from every series. It has the best 4-player minigame selection in the series, as well as the largest minigame selection. I should say as the largest. So the fact that it does have a few stinker minigames, but it has so few, and with the minigame selection being as big as it is, the very small amounts that aren't that great don't really matter that much, because you have so many others that are just so good. There's so many great minigames in this series. I don't need to go around listing all of them. The 4-player minigame selection is just amazing. The 2v2 minigame selection is easily the best I've seen in a minigame. It has it's a shame 2v2 minigames are so rare in Superstars. Genuinely, I'll do a 25 turn game in Superstars, and I'll see 1, maybe 2 2v2 minigames, which I know I would get a lot more in old Mario Parties, Mario Party 6. I think you get so few because there's so few red spaces, and you don't have things like character spaces, so you don't get the green outline on your character or pink as it was when you land on character space as much. So it's a lot harder to get 2 people with a red outline. So you get 2v2 very rarely, which is a shame because I think Superstars easily has the best 2v2 minigame selection. It has, I think it's a couple, there's 1 or 2 types of minigames that I wish were included in 2v2, but it has, I'm usually not a huge fan of the 2v2 minigames, but honestly, I think the 2v2 selection is usually not that great in a lot of them, but in Superstars it is easily the best. It has so many good 2v2s. The 4-player minigame selection for the 5th time is amazing. 1v3 is fine. It needs more dual minigames. I don't know why it only has 5. At least have 8 or something. It couldn't have been that hard. I know it's a silly thing to complain about, but if you just add a few more dual minigames, round it up to 10 or 8, add 1 more board, Chili Wires or Bowser Lane or something, then yeah, that's all it needs. It doesn't need that much more, but it's just very slightly lacking a couple areas. But yeah, I've been saying if you compare minigame selections directly to one another, to Mario Party 6, to Mario Party 7, to Mario Party 2, they pretty much all have really good ones. But you compare Mario Party Superstars' minigame selection to others, man, it is the winner. It is the best. It has so many good minigame selections. It is I think it's the only Mario Party game where I will play the minigame modes just for the minigames, because there are just so many good ones. It's crazy. I love I love the minigames in Superstars. And you play on one of the good boards, like Horrorland or something. It has a pretty good item system. Oh my god, Woody Wood's music is actually like running out. It's been so long. Yeah, it's just, I can't believe it. It's just, it nailed it. Oh yeah, and I guess I should bring up the music. Because remastered all the music, as you hear in the background. The music is amazing. I can't believe I'm saying it. The board music in particular is really good. I thought I was going to turn like the classic music on for some of the boards once I unlock them. I keep it on the modern music for all of them. It's just amazing. The music is just really solid. The music is really, I didn't bring up the music for in like the old N64 Mario parties. I will say, I think the N64 minigame music is a lot more upbeat and, you know, fun than Superstars music. But Superstars music is still really good. I do wish there was an option to turn on classic minigame music for like at least some of the minigames or something. Because you have a toggle for the board music. So it'd be nice if there's a toggle for the minigame music as well. Just for like some of the tracks that I liked better from the old ones. And a lot of them, yeah, have I said everything I need to? I'm sad that I can't play as Boo anymore, but oh well. And yeah, I think that pretty much does it. I'm honestly really pleased that we've finally gotten a Mario Party so good in the modern era, it's almost unthinkable. They actually did it, which is just great. Good job. And yeah, 6, I think this pretty much does it. I think I'm actually gonna do this. I still think 3 is really good. Kind of round it out a bit more. Again, I think A and S aren't too far apart. It's just I think these are my personal favorites, probably, now. Obviously, I have recency bias with Superstars, but again, if you just add like one more board or two, round out like the dual minigames or something, like that's really all you need to do. Like it's so close to being a near perfect Mario Party, honestly, which is really impressive. So yeah, I think this took 30 minutes. I genuinely thought this was going to take like 10 minutes, but I guess I've been on the Mario Party kick. The new Mario Party's come out. I felt like talking about it to somebody. I don't know who's still watching at this point, but were there anything else I would change? I think 8 being lone in C tier is maybe the most. I mean, the Mario Party 4, Mario Party 1, Mario Party 8's placements are probably the most controversial. 4 you could maybe put in C tier. I think these both do deserve to be in D. 8's fine in C. 5 and 7 are B. I think is right. They just have certain things that bring it down. 2 and 3 are both great. I really like them. I think I just prefer. I will mention I did try to order this in individual tiers as well. I don't think Superstars is gonna surpass 6 for me. I just think 6's actual game mechanics and the boards in 6 just elevate it still above Superstars and 3 and 2 for me, personally. But yeah, honestly, like basically, you could put a little more of like a top 4 kind of thing. 6 Superstars, 3 and 2. I think those are the crowns, personally. The crowns, what does that mean? I think those are the best Mario parties. And for me, personally, yeah, 6 is the best. Superstars is amazing. 3 you could put in S or A. It doesn't really matter. I'm just kind of rounding out more something. So yeah, there you go. This is my Mario Party tier list. Maybe you just had this on in the background and you're wondering like, why is this guy still going? I don't know myself, but yeah. I'm glad I like Mario Party. It's a good series. I enjoy it. It's fun. And yeah, hope you have a good one.